All right, hello everybody. We're here for Top Deck number 2, and this is week 1. And today I'm joined by two of my favorite Netrunner players. First of all, let's say hello to Timmy because this is his first time on. How you doing, Timmy?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, I'm elated to have you here. You're a legend, and Spags, you're also a
Yeah.
legend. So
Timmy Wong, for if you've never heard of him. Timmy
Timmy
Wong. He
Wong.
didn't specify which Timmy it was.
Otherwise known as the man who can drop 50 cards out of his binder the night before a tournament and win. That's correct, right?
Uh, I have to agonize about which 50 cards.
Okay, all right.
Not this year. He was in the testing house. He had
That,
plenty of time.
oh yeah, yeah. Not to say that you don't think about your choices hard. It's just that yeah, there's always something coming out of you that's interesting. So how you doing, Spags? You got a new headset? You sounding pretty good, looking good.
Good, thanks. Yeah, I am still in my pajamas and haven't shaved in a month, so I'm doing well.
That sounds about right. Nice easy Sunday morning. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket. You guys will be able to see it on stream in just a minute. So this month we're mixing up a little bit. Instead of just putting 16 players in a bracket, we divided the bracket into two sides. The first side is the North America side, which is basically one Canadian and the rest Americans. And then the other side of the bracket is the world. We've got two Swedish players, an Australian, two Brits, a German, and a Polish player. So that should be pretty fun. The way it's working out is that the North America bracket will finalize, the world bracket will finalize, and then we'll have a final between the two. So we'll get one North American player and one world player in the finals. Trying to be a little more Euro friendly. That's why we're starting so early today. And also, I figured it'd be easier for these guys to schedule their matches. Even though Jesse's kind of like the outlier, he's just like in his own little world over there in Australia.
Yeah.
Okay, before we start the game, let's talk a little bit about the matchups. We got, first of all, from Germany, we've got Alex Kohlmann, otherwise known as ff0x, versus Laurie Poulter, lpoulter on JNet. He's a Brit. So what do we think about this matchup here, guys?
Two great players. I played against Alex in the first round of Worlds, actually. That was the scariest first round opponent I've had yet.
Yeah, Alex is a tough player. I ended up playing him in the King of Servers, and he swept me. So I've got some experience getting beat up by him. What about our deck choices? We've got first we're going to have Laurie Corping, and it looks like he's on a 54 IG. Return of the 54 IG. I think that's a list that Spags you've been touting a little bit in the Slack chat.
Yep, for sure. Joseki brought back the idea that this deck may be viable again with preemptive action. So I've been playing around with it. It definitely has its rough matchups, but it's viable. It can definitely work. And I see Laurie put some spicy tech in for today, but I don't think he's going to need it.
So you're saying I can blame John for when this deck takes off and makes everyone miserable again?
Pretty much. But there are a lot of good hate cards against this deck now, and it's just not as quick as it used to be. But still viable. We'll see what it does today. I think Alex is on Andy, which should be a good matchup for it.
Yeah, so still viable, but not the oppressive 54 IG of yesteryear.
The three museums, no, that was the nightmare.
Yeah, well, he's still got 3 museums, but obviously we can only play one at a time.
Right.
So
Not concurrently. And, as I just saw, Rumor Mill, very good against this deck. Shuts off the Howards, shuts off the museum now. So Rumor Mill is really tough against this deck.
And unfortunately, looking at Alex's runner, I don't think he's got any specific tech that's, I mean, other than just the fact that he's criminal and he's going to make a bunch of money.
Right.
He's got. Interestingly enough, he's only on 1 sec testing, so I feel like getting that sec testing out could be a problem with the 1-of.
It'll be intriguing. No employee strikes. He's got his hate more geared towards yellow decks, appropriately, but no employee strike, I don't think, right? Pretty tough.
All right. Well, anybody have anything else they want to add before we jump into these games?
So that's the matchup we'll be seeing first? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing Laurie, Corp, and Alex run.
Well, settle in. This might be a long one. Dan's in the Twitch chat, though, being very happy about IG.
Are these timed, Greg? Should we set the timer here?
No, we haven't. Yeah, these games are not timed, so we're gonna get to the end of this one.
It'll be good. Luckily, IG54 is not so bad on JNet because you don't have the 30 shuffles per game,
Yeah.
So it actually moves pretty quick.
All right, so we got the hands up.
Solid. I like the start here. The turning wheel could help, and the 2 Temujin and the Desperado. I mean, I think it's a really strong start in the siphon for Alex.
Got a lot of good opening cards here. He has Earth Tries to feel back up too. That's really important for Andy.
And in this matchup, Laurie, I mean, this is what I found. It's not as quick of a setup, and it's harder to get the discard filled, I feel like, now with IG54. And I mean, I don't know. What do you think an opening play here, Timmy, is for the IG player?
Well, when you have Jackson, you can always Jackson overdraw to get cards in archives.
Mm-hmm.
And on that City Hall too, which is gets the rest of his deck. So
Yep.
Probably hard to pass up this one.
The static is Garbo, but I mean, it's a nice counter if you're counting on employee strikes, but I don't think he's going to have to play it at all this match.
Yeah.
Alex is on
That's
0
the
currents.
who plays both good assets.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's a really nice add to this deck, though. 3 DNA trackers. I think Laurie's only on 2. I'm playing 3. I mean, those are just a really solid stopper. I mean, you can't run Hive anymore because you don't have the influence, but the DNA tracker just punishing.
yeah, it fills the same role of being impossible to run through,
Right.
while also being incredibly punishing. Yeah, great card. So Andy has to do Andy things to get cards out of her hand, which means he's not going to be able to trash these really important assets.
Mm-hmm. But the nice thing is he gets to see the DNA tracker, so he won't be face planting that.
Yeah, good point. So maybe he will get to trash actually. He has deuces.
I don't know. I think maybe, or he runs R&D here.
Yeah, he runs one of the assets. Probably a good call.
City Hall, get rid of it, I would think.
Yeah, definitely.
Although, does he want money for the Temujin? I think he's got to let it go at this point. He's got to set up this turn.
Oh yeah. It's City Hall there. You have to trash it ASAP.
I know. Do you let a turn of Mumba Temples coming out? Alex joking. No shuffle effects because Laurie promised you didn't have any shuffle effects.
He just trashes it. I think it's the right call.
I think
the most important card.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like he didn't really want to spend that money, but I mean, come on. If he doesn't trash it now, he's gonna install 3 things next turn with it. So
wouldn't you siphon right here? You saw it's a DNA tracker. He can't res. I would go for the siphon right now.
I think I would too. Otherwise, you have to discard or play.
There it is.
Nice.
You must be listening.
He's hoping this isn't hostile infrastructure.
Right. That's the only thing that really would put him out of it. And it's Howard, so he gets full value there. Solid.
That's a really nice opening for Andy.
Yeah. We saw that hand. It looked really good for IG, even without sec testing. And next turn, he can clear tags and Temujin if he really wants. Or Earthrise, probably. But there's the Spicy Tech, the News Now hour. I like that a lot, but obviously not going to see play this game. He may still put it out there, worried about employee strike, though.
yeah, I can see him getting it out there. I mean, it's pretty common in Andy these days. Employee strike.
There's the hostile, just a turn late.
Mm-hmm. Laurie is really teched against Wizard with employee strikes.
You need Vivi in this environment. I think it's a good idea. Sadly, the DNA tracker, great ice for this deck, but not early, as you saw. It just was garbage.
Yeah.
So the Deuce is Wild actually bailed him out, saved him right there.
Yeah.
Well, allowed him to siphon, I should say. He didn't save him. He wasn't going to res it and get killed.
So ff0x isn't playing his Temujin, huh?
Hmm.
He just wants to get accesses?
Yeah, I think he wants to keep the pressure on, keep the remotes clean. because the Howard really allows IG to set up the archive build quickly, and I'm surprised Alex just didn't dump in the archives, I guess, and look for ice.
Against IG, with this good of a start, I might be trying to play the long game and like not even going for accesses, just like set up the Temujin before they can ice up.
Sure. I think he knows the Temujin can come any time here, though.
Well, they'll draw some ice eventually.
Sure. And here we'll see the vanilla on archive, I would think, be the play. No? Okay. Maybe next turn he'll set it up.
He might be holding it back for the Temujin here.
Oh, that's a good call, too. Even still, 3-hit Temujin hit, I guess. I don't know. I think it's more important to build your trash costs up, because I played against this a bit in the last week, and you can, even with Temujin, you can run them out of money on the trash effects.
Yeah, that's why, like, even though Andy has so much money right now, she's going to need all of it.
Yep. And that's where the preemptives really come in. You know, when you run them through the mill of running all their econ up, and then you preemptive those cards back, they're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Just when they think they've hit all 3 museums, you preemptive, and then it's like, oh shit, here they come again.
Yeah, it's gross.
Very much so.
Especially after you're like, I just trashed all the recursion, I'm safe.
You feel good, right? Greg, don't fight too hard to push all these people out. You're not going to keep the door closed on them.
Yeah. No huge deal.
Good start. The bioethics is up. I think you have to go at it, right? It's only cost 1 more to trash for sure. I'm surprised Laurie's putting that out there before the hostile. I don't know.
This is when the IG ability like really gets you though. It's like 1 card in archives. Do you really want to check that? But all your cards cost 1 more.
Right. But the Desperado kind of negates it. It's like essentially you're playing against Gagarin right now. I maybe would have built a few more cards up before I res the bioethics or put the hostile out, but he's just scrambling for money. There's not a ton of money in this deck. It doesn't really need it either, but I think just pretty much turtlebacks, right? I don't even think he's on a portfolio.
No portfolio. He's just running 2 turtlebacks.
I had one in. Joseki talked me out of it. He says, you don't need that much money, but there are games I wish I had money when you have no money and future perfects all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, you really don't want to you don't want to have money, so you don't want to get siphoned, right? You don't want to just give the siphon player all the money to trash everything.
Now, does he have I didn't look. Oh, he spent his influence on News Now hour. You know, Joseki and I have been playing Sealed Vault. Really solid.
Nice.
That's your anti-siphon tech, and they're never going to trash it.
Yeah, that's a great call. I love Sealed Vault in Acid Spam decks.
For sure. Yep. I mean, it's hard to find. You can tech start up it, though. It's really, really strong. So we have the Earthrise come down. Yeah, Alex has plenty of time. Just going to set up here, and agendas are going to start to build up at some point. Double icing HQ before he ices archives. Interesting.
It makes sense. Like, Andy isn't Wizard. Like, it'll cost her a bunch to trash, even if she does clear archives. And there's only 1 face down right now anyway.
Sure. Yeah, I guess he's not ready to fill archives up at this point. Just biding his time, which is fine.
Yeah, Laurie really needs to get all like his ducks in order.
Yeah.
How
much ice are we on? I mean, it's not a ton, probably 9 or 10. Let me look at the list here. We're on 10. Some of them are going to become garbage at some point, like the Cortex box. 3 is excessive in my book, but
it's really strong early.
For sure.
Like, Alex is probably really afraid to run because of stuff like double sentries on HQ.
Yeah.
Well, no, he knows that DNA tracker is there.
He knows that, yeah. And the Mongoose is really great. Like, a lot of decks can't handle an early Cortex. Mongoose, it's so expensive as hell, though, right? 5 to break, but
I think definitely the reason that you run 3 Cortex is because you want to see it early game. It's not that you really want to play, very many, because they just kind of fall apart in the late game. So
no, I get that for sure. And you see, he's on vanilla. I actually prefer Himitsubaku just because I know it costs 2 more, but it's just so versatile. Never dies to anything. You can bounce it to your hand if you need, like on a legwork or something. I don't know. I just love that card.
Yeah. All right, so ff0x is special ordered for the paperclip, so now he can get in and get Temujin rolling again.
Yep.
He chose not to discard it because IG could play Arc Lockdown.
Could, you never know. Influence is a little tight, but we saw, Laurie fit in a news now hour. I mean, even at this point, if I were Alex and you were really worried, you could just play the other Temujin and say to hell with it. It's not, I've seen it done.
Yeah, for sure. But then you have to spend your whole turn on that, or that probably gets iced too.
For sure. I'll probably do it on a remote at that point.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a vanilla, right? It's such a grindy matchup. Like, you want to get all your Temujin dollars.
That's true. Yeah, you don't. I guess it's such a long game. You don't want to throw anything away unnecessarily.
Alex finds his 1 sec testing, so that's pretty good for him.
Yeah, that was really solid. Just the one.
Hey, you got it.
2 or nothing, doesn't it? I don't know.
Well, Alex is playing this pretty well, it seems.
Yep.
Really controlling the board so far.
It helps when you have boatload of money.
Yeah, but
That siphon money. Yeah, siphon was huge.
It's huge.
All right, another piece of ice for there's a piece for archive. Kind of strange and unthinkable. I think we've gone down to 1 crick on these decks, which is odd because before weren't they all on 2 or 3 at least?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now, I guess with the DNA tracker, it's just more, I don't know, it's more punishing. So
For sure.
it's expensive, but
And as you see, there are things to recur, but with preemptive, it's more like you want things just back in the deck and on the board.
yeah, I mean, it just keeps your R&D nice and dense, right? Like without agendas.
I may have to go back to 2 crick though. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really strong. Really cheap.
There's nothing more demoralizing when you spend a bunch of money to trash something and then they bring it back with crick like a turn later.
Right. I mean, honestly, wouldn't you rather have maybe more cricks than the Cortex locks?
Well, Cortex Lock is really good early, and Crick is much less good early when you don't have anything to install.
Sure.
But it is a short one.
And is Crick's not as good against Anarch, I think, right? I mean, they're probably going to have a David down when they run your archives.
Fair enough.
Yeah, often against Anarch, you wanted to put it on like HQ or R&D, actually.
Force the Yogg.
It was really annoying for them to have to Yogg it.
Well, luckily no one's playing Anarch these days, so you shouldn't have to worry about these matchups, right?
Right.
Well, the agendas are starting to stack. I mean, do you gamble at this point? Maybe duck 1 Future Perfect in the archives and that, until you can preempt and hope that he just doesn't check soon?
Might be a good call. I mean, they are Future Perfects. They're like fairly safe in hand.
They still spend themselves even in archives, though.
Only if you have like shocks or a good ice there. I didn't see what ice you put down.
It was a crick.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't think he's seen a shock yet, has he? I don't believe so. Second Temujin waiting in hand patiently.
2 Jacksons and City Hall back in. Pretty
Yeah.
gross.
Pretty good. I think it's time for Temujin number 2 on R&D. There it is.
Seems solid. But like, the problem is every time he gets into R&D, he gets 4 credits, and then he spends those 4 credits trashing something that like he has to trash from the top of R&D. So he's not like really getting ahead.
No. I think he'll take net neutral to continually mill him, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not getting ahead, but he's also not getting behind.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a nice piece.
Yeah.
Not as good against the Mongoose, though. I don't believe I'm on a single Kohlmann in mine.
It's that Hunting Grounds tech scares you.
That's it? Hey, man. Hunting Grounds is good right now.
It is pretty good, especially with these new cards and intervention.
Haven't you seen Data Ward?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of running into one of those the other day.
Sounds pleasurable.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Spicy way to slow down the Temujin here.
Yeah, that's what, 5 to break?
Yep.
Yeah, that's gross.
You know, it's funny. Alex threw away, or didn't he have a sneak door? He still has it in hand. It might be a good play just to get around the Cortex lock here.
Yeah, that's a great call.
Sneak door, fairy, and you're filled up here.
He should really want to get into HQ anyway, because that's how these IG decks eventually die, usually.
No doubt. And with no Mamba Temple, he can't afford to res all this stuff, especially that he knows he can't res the DNA right now.
That run was so expensive.
It was. But that's what an ambush should be, right? It got him one time. It won't get him again. Timmy, you ever play 54 IG? You're not that bad of a person, are you? I mean, I have.
I don't think I've played 54 IG. I was repping IG quite a bit before it became like gross and degenerate, and people were upset at me because IG is just like upsetting ID. But not after Museum, I think. Yeah, but when the deck became developed, like John D played it a lot against me, and I was losing like every game.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty brutal.
Now, are we hoping for the good of the nation and the world and the Netrunner community that Laurie gets trounced here and sends a strong message that we should not play this? Because, like, this is what this deck kind of helped destroy metas, don't you think?
Yes, 100%. Yeah. But I don't know. I think, is there a chance that Alex runs out of money at some point in this game? Because he's spending so much of his economy to trash things at R&D.
Yeah, absolutely. He's almost out of Temujin money.
And I don't know. What about the turning wheel? Like, what do you think? Why hasn't he installed that yet? He just doesn't feel like he has the time to do it.
Yeah, that's a bizarre call.
Yeah, with all these central runs, that thing would be really filled right now.
He could just access all of HQ at some point. That would be tremendous pressure.
Yeah, didn't he have it? He had an opening hand, right?
Yeah, it's been sitting there all game. Yeah, I know that feeling though. That feeling where you're like, you feel like you're like one click short every turn, where you just can't do one more thing.
That's fair. But it's not like this is a huge race. I mean, I probably would have dropped the second or third turn, at least before the second Temujin. Yeah, because I mean, Timmy's right. I mean, a full HQ hit at some point here is going to get you points because the agenda's got to hide somewhere. They're only what 8, I think, or 9, but they're gonna build up.
Maybe he's worried about hitting multiple fetal AIs in one swoop.
Oh. Got to score him at some point.
And then I guess like you can't be certain that there's no like snares or things like that as well. So maybe he's not installing the turning wheel because he thinks it could potentially kill him.
Well, you don't have to like hit all of HQ, right? You could hit like 3 cards or something. You could hit like 3 cards at a time from R&D. That's still a lot more efficient than relying on single accesses for everything.
Right.
I think Greg's essentially calling him a coward. Let's just get down to it here.
Do we know what these assets are on the board?
Well, server 3 is the new card. What's it called?
News Now Hour?
Yeah, so that thing's never gonna do anything.
Okay.
No.
And then the other card was a Jackson, which you just trashed.
Yeah.
So.
No, News Now is in the garbage.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure what's out there. Is it a hostile? I honestly don't remember. It came out early. Was it a Howard? Maybe it's another Howard. I think it's a Howard that he played.
Really? I would have expected ff0x to trash that.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. He dirty laundried it. Did it say, let's look back here. Did it say what he accessed? Maybe the Twitch chat can help us. We're not good at this. I'm sorry.
Well, I know Big Boy pointed out that he could fill his MU and start running R&D again, and he's got Sneak Door and Fairy, so he could install both of those, and he'd be
or the Data Sucker and Sneak Door.
Yeah, Data Sucker now.
That's what I do, and Turning Wheel, and just go to town on it. What does the Big Boy know, though? Come on, that guy. Ooh, fam. Well, that'll be good on a Kohlmann.
Or the DNA tracker.
Right, when those get rezzed. It'll be a hard face plant. Once again, though, super expensive. Can you afford a fem? This matchup, I mean, it's better than paying through a Kohlmann or a DNA tracker every time, but
Yeah, can you afford to? Can you afford not to?
I think he's going to have to afford to. He's going to have to find a way to pay for it. Oh, he's actually playing the sneak door. Interesting. They're using it. That is bizarre. He had to have known that was there.
Yeah, that's.
He knows he can't res the DNA tracker. Just run right up the gut on this. I would. I don't know. Strange.
Yeah, does he know the first piece of ice, the top piece of ice on HQ?
He doesn't. He doesn't.
No.
What's the worst case? Cortex lock?
You can run HQ normally now. Once the corp goes under 8, they're kind of like flashing weakness in the situation.
Right. Unless it's another crick, which, that's not a huge deal either. It's just more stuff that he has to trash.
Okay. Yeah, so his logic was that Laurie has used 2 preemptive actions, and he just shuffled back his best cards. So hopefully the card he installs now will not be quite as bad.
Yeah, he put a tech startup, which can get him anything. He got the future perfect here. That's a good hit. So this is what I think he was hoping on. He knew that there were agendas in there.
All right. Classic 0-2.
It's a little unfortunate that Laurie hasn't drawn any shocks yet.
That is true.
All right. So he does what I said and runs HQ.
Straight. Yep. Because he knows the DNA is there and he knows it can't be rezzed.
Which is not a bad play, but now this tech startup is going to fire.
That is true.
That's kind of miserable.
That's the price he had to pay here. I think he really wants these agendas. If you get this fetal, you get the future perfect. Now you're on match point.
Yeah.
He just missed the future perfect, but it was a good shot.
All right, so yeah, we had Alex steal the fetal AI, which he had to pay 2 credits and take 2 net damage in order to.
I was gonna say, what should he go for here? This is what I would go for: City Hall. He needs to get Museum and the temples running quickly here.
It's usually
a good window.
Yeah, and Alex is struggling for money, but I guess he can. See, he lost that fairy, which is unfortunate because he could have just blanked those cortex with fairy and started.
And the sucker.
Yeah, and he could have taken those 8 credits off of Temujin.
He lost both the programs he needed. He should have put that sucker down.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah, I think that he definitely probably should have done that.
Because then he could have run R&D for 1 credit for free essentially and pulling Temujin money. Now this is ugly. Everything's at a +2 trash cost.
Yeah, this is bad. He's almost conceded the board. Like, he had really good control, but it spirals out from here.
And this is the point where you're saying if a runner's getting desperate, they can try to win on central accesses, like how a shaper would try to beat him back in the day. And the turning wheel would be the method to do it, right? And since he gave up on that, he's in real trouble now. Laurie's got a great board state.
Yeah. Well, as we know, there is enough points in HQ for him to win, but he would have to win a side game
and access both of those agendas.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, with the turning. Oh, he's not. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he had the turning wheel down. I just realized that's Earthrise.
We've just been talking about how he hasn't played it.
Well, no, I saw the Earthrise, and for some reason I thought that was the turning wheel. So my mistake.
No worries. He's on 2 turning wheel. He had that opening hand. It seemed really good, but probably the biggest misplay of the game for him. You could call it a judgment call. I'll call it a misplay. I know him.
Making the hard calls.
Hitting the City Hall at this point, maybe it's just too late. Maybe you just let it go. I know he can start heritage committing then, and then it really becomes troublesome.
Thankfully, that's not a thing anymore, right?
Well, it still is a thing, right? I just don't believe it's nested. Like, you can't...
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, the card you put back, wasn't it shuffled in before? Now it isn't. It's placed on top. Exactly, right? I believe you have to complete the City Hall shuffle before you put the heritage on top.
So you can't just put agendas on top, nilly-willy.
And throw them and then shuffle, right? Mm-hmm. I believe so. I don't frickin' know, to be honest. I just play on Jinteki.
Okay. But yeah, Laurie still has the 1 heritage committee for extra card draw.
I think it's really good. It helps it's searchable card draw, filtering, and just the overdraw allows you to throw stuff away easier. Here's a shock. Sadly, that shock's going to get shuffled back. Oh, no, he doesn't have a museum yet. He's going to draw it. Excellent.
This is so painful. Like,
All right.
this is when it starts going all wrong for the runner, but it's going to take another like 15 minutes at least.
Yeah, and now he can pretty much always res the DNA tracker because he's got the 3 Mumba temples.
Yep.
Yeah, that's terrible.
It was a huge turn here. Basically, it's going to come down to accesses, but yeah, Timmy's right. I think we're in the death spiral here.
Before these temples were up, it was like a really good late game plan to just stand runs on HQ whenever Laurie fell below 8 credits. But yeah, that's not really a thing unless those temples get dealt with, which Andy can't really deal with.
No, now he can't trash anything really.
Okay, so he absolutely has to install turning wheel now, right? Like he has no choice. Like
I would.
Okay.
Maybe that Sleeper run wasn't so good. No, it wasn't, Alex. Right. I think it has to be turning wheel R&D at this point.
Yeah, I think that's his only way to win.
Maybe.
I mean, at this point, he can just maybe go through the crick, right? Like, they'll speed up Laurie's lock, but he needs to get accesses.
Right, and the only way to do that is to run R&D. I mean, he.
Yeah. There it is.
He can also sneak door to get into HQ, is what I'm saying. And HQ is fairly rich.
Just let him install.
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess you're right. He can. He's already conceding the board at this point.
He is. I think you attack with turning wheel, and I think at some point, if you can land a siphon and then hope to hit a future perfect without the side game, maybe with a legwork or turning wheel. Is he on legwork? Let me look here.
Well, he's got to get something up to.
No legwork.
Oh, he's just trying to build up counters. Yeah,
This
I mean,
is
the problem with Siphon is he's got to get a decent way to get through that DNA tracker before he.
Oh, you're right. 3 temples.
Yeah, so he's.
Just eat it.
What's his code gate breaker? Does anybody remember? I'll look it up.
Gordon, I believe, or
Zoo and Passport. So really, he needs a special order for the Passport if he's going to try to mess with the Siphon.
The Passport, yep, exactly. Maybe that other sucker down there. So he gave up.
He's only found the DNA tracker.
That's a good call. Once again, a lot of money.
Yeah, but like special order for Zoo, play Zoo.
I know.
Right.
No, that's terrible too.
Yeah.
As you see, he used his only multi-axis in the whole deck is turning wheel. He spent all of his influence on like data suckers and other toys. Paperclip, Zoo, data sucker, Deuces Wild. Nice job on that card, by the way, Dan. You had to give it an influence, huh? Already dropped it a tier as a result.
That card would be really insane if it didn't have influence. Probably.
I think, right, you'd have to change some of the numbers for sure.
All right, he has to trash something. Very,
That's fine. He's not going to use that anyhow. Maybe if you hit a Kohlmann, but the Mongoose is so good against it.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's down to sec test for money. Third time we
just sec testing every turn. Like he skipped some turns.
Yeah.
That's just free money he lost.
I agree.
I think on the turn, Alex he went for the sneaker play. He played Sure Gamble, but he could have just kept that in hand for net damage and just sec tested. So.
Yep.
All right, he trashes the museum. I don't know. The city hall's just going to get 2 more museums, right?
I don't. I think I would have given up on the board and just pushed, but
yeah, there's really no reason to trash at this point. I mean,
I guess 2 museums are in the trash now, so you can only get 1. Not the worst.
I'd almost given up on the board and just run through that crick. Well, I don't know. Just let him keep installing. I guess that accelerates his plan.
It's tough to time this right because look at how many agendas IG is drawing. Like you want to find the perfect time to get at their HQ before they like flush it somehow.
Right. With no legwork, there's no real good window to like have a massive turn. He's going to have one good turn on HQ if he spends all that turning wheel.
Mhm. So
Luckily, there are 2 bioethics in the bin. It's really the only thing keeping Laurie from really locking this.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's why he trashed the museum, because it's really it's the win con is to get those back
It
in. So
Laurie does have the 3rd preemptive. I think I'd almost play it here very soon. Get those bioethics back in.
yeah.
I think Laurie's just looking to grind him right with the museums. He's like, I can bring these out every turn, as Greg said. I can put 2 out a turn and res 1. What are you going to do about it? I mean,
yeah,
trashing it seems futile.
yeah. The thing is, it's like, okay, great, you trashed the museum, but you didn't trash the city hall. So now they're just gonna come right back.
Oh,
Well, with 3 of each.
It's 7? I
Yeah.
don't know if you meant to pay 7 there. That's a lot of money.
Well,
Yeah.
Kentucky does ask you, are you sure you want to pay 7 for this? It's not an accident. It's not virtual tour here, man. There's an option.
Okay, so he's finally doing kind of what we talked about, which is just build up counters and then probably make a sneak door run or
No,
run
he's
RD.
going right through the DNA tracker
Oh,
here.
okay.
Just eating it. Well, he's not resing.
Why didn't he res
Interesting.
it?
He's saving money for the future perfects. He only has 2 Mamba temples out right now.
Okay, so
Laurie can't
There we
afford
go.
it
This could be the game.
because Alex trashed the temple, specifically denied the DNA tracker reds.
oh, he got it! Wow,
Oh,
Not
wow,
lucky.
wow.
that was amazing.
All right, everybody.
Yeah,
You're going to have to start teching for IG at your tournaments now.
Yeah. All right, that 7 credit trash really paid off for him. Crazy.
I don't know if it paid off, but
No, he made the right call. He was like, this is the turn I need to go to HQ. And the best way I can do that is just by trashing this temple for 7 so that Laurie can't res this DNA tracker and then run a HQ 3
the
times.
temple, right? Exactly, because he had to save the money.
Yeah. So if he did it through Crick, then Laurie gets to install 3 things, which accelerates his game plan.
Yeah,
But,
that's true.
Yeah, it worked out. Very nice.
Paid off. I mean, that was the best case scenario. Hitting the agendas and winning the side game. Outside of that, that might have been the game.
Yeah, that was a final ditch move, to be sure. But
Yeah.
he would have
Well,
had some outs. He had those turning wheel counters and such.
Sure.
Definitely, it was well played. I mean, a lot of times, I think we all can recognize that sometimes you just take your best line and just hope that it works, because it's your best course of action. So
Yeah.
That's one thing I love about Netrunner, man. You can just make that home run attack or whatever. You can just whatever cliche you want to use. But basically, you can if you're behind like that, you still have a shot to win, which I love.
yeah, I think
Especially these IG games.
I actually think that that's one of the things that like separates the really great players from just the good players or the average players is knowing, sometimes just to like break away from your game plan and just be like, I got to do this right now or else I like have very little chance to win. So
You see that window. And I know you said well played, but I still think there were a number of mistakes on Alex's part. Like the turning wheel probably should have been down turn 2. And there were a few other questionable moves, but he ended up pulling out the win.
I seem to remember a game from last year, Timmy, where you did exactly what I'm talking about and you got an agenda off R&D. Do you remember that?
Yeah. There were also some mistakes involved.
Yeah.
Better lucky than good. Do we want to talk about these decks real quick?
Yeah, well,
Sure.
we don't. Yeah, we'll just talk about it as they get started.
So basically, we have Alex is on what they call a trash HB. Kind of a fast advance, never advance type deck, right?
Yeah, that would be my guess.
Right?
There's no. Let me pull the list up, but I don't think
There's a sand.
There's a sand, but there's no ashes or anything like that. So yeah,
No.
I think never advance plan is
Fast advance.
and
3
fast
biotic,
advance. Yeah,
3 virtual tour.
yeah.
I'm excited for that.
I'm playing like sort of a list like this, and I think it's really good right now. Advanced Assembly
Laurie-
Lines is such a good card.
So good in ETF.
Yeah.
And Laurie's essentially on what Timmy played at Worlds, the Hate Bear deck.
Mhm. Out of the
Converted
last
to
game.
Val, Ren Passant, which is really solid right now. Like, if you haven't played against it yet, it is annoying AF.
Yeah, it's super annoying out of Val especially.
Right. DDoSes and blackmails. Ugh.
Yeah, this should be fun. And then
Is that scare quotes fun?
it's gonna be fun
I
for
think the
us.
matchup probably favors Laurie because Val is just like really good against HB generally.
Yep.
This hand is not very good.
Pretty rough start for Laurie, but you're right. I would say in general it favors him because I don't think there's any anti-siphon tech in the ETF deck.
Alex can't pull off some sweet like never advanced tricks though. Imagine like blackmailing into this Sunday virtual tour.
Oh yeah, that'll be sick, right? You put an ice in the assembly lines and then you pull the virtual tour in there.
Disgrace.
Although it's not an agenda, they know that. But yeah, the virtual tour is a nice add. Be interesting. But the ETF has no tag hate, no siphon hate. That's where I put the advantage on Laurie here.
Mm-hmm. A guy in our testing house, Andrew Cortez, he's been on like a siphon valve for a really long time, and yeah, he was crushing HVs with it. The like multiple prong threats of like siphon and blackmail and everything together is just so hard for them.
It's sick. I played Cortez at Gen Con before all this Hate Bear garbage came out, and yeah, we were both on Val, but he was on siphon. He beat me by one turn. It's tough deck.
Yeah, it's a scary deck.
I like Cortez a lot. Almost had him on my bet runner team. This close. I had to drop him last minute.
Cortez is a great choice. He was sick this world, so he did not have to do that well.
I went with Rafael Nishimura, who he did decently.
Awesome. Yeah. Fantastic player from SoCal. He wins like all the SoCals.
Good player.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this game is kind of a slow start, right?
Mm-hmm. No econ.
HB's getting set up though, getting those strip credits from the ID.
Now he's going to put some double ice HQ here, I would think.
He's rolling out. The problem is he has so many agendas in HQ, it's clogging his split.
Yeah, he needs a Howard here. That's very nice. He's got a lot of money though, right here. Good start on the money. He's got 3 ice. Al's really slow on money. Hopefully that inject will help. There it is.
That's a good inject.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, Alex knows he can't jam now.
No.
Jamming will not work.
No. You always have to assume the blackmail's in hand, right?
Yeah. Well, now he knows there are 2, at least.
But he's wishing he had an arc lockdown in his deck at this point. He went with Hellion Beta Test as his hate card instead.
Makes a lot of sense with the virtual tour.
Yeah, that's true. Run him low on cash and clock him. Good combo. Laurie's shocked reaction. What is this?
Was he short on trashing?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
He didn't have enough.
Wow, 1 short. Crazy. That dirty laundry. Sick play.
That's the only problem I have with the MVTs. That if your opponent knows about it, they can play around it, which stinks. But
Yeah, but at some point,
Clearly, Laurie did not know about it, right? He just
yeah,
did not happen to work out that way.
he does now, right?
Yeah.
You're right. You can play around it to a degree. At some point, though, it's either it reminds me of like playing against Virtual Tour and hard hitting news and CTM. I mean, you're either going to stay low on credits or you're going to have enough to have to trash it. It's a lose-lose.
Yeah. Well, I think I kind of figured out with CTM. I was playing it too much in the remotes, and it ends up being better in centrals a lot of the time.
You want to put it in the path of least resistance. Like if they're going to come on a medium run, just be like, all right, you have to eat this damn thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like virtual tour a lot when people don't expect it. They're a lot more likely to
Mhm.
be.
It also makes a great target for an open archives to make Temujin a little bit not as great.
Definitely.
I don't want to be the hipster here, but I remember when CTM first came out, I was playing before the Most Wanted List 2. I was playing a Never Advanced 3 Virtual Tour deck, and yeah, it's really solid. And apparently, yeah, people found out it was good in there.
Yeah, I think it's a gross card, Virtual Tour. It's like,
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
And very easy to get around the restriction on the influence.
Mhm.
So he lures a blackmail run here.
Yeah. When you put 2 cards and the runner kind of feels like they have to check.
It's true. So he kills a blackmail, but I mean, it's very easy to get around the virtual tour at this point because you know you can just trash whatever's in there unless it's an agenda, but he still was low enough on money. Good play.
No en passants drawn yet, so
And he's got the biotic. He really wants an ABT to fire here to get around blackmail, but he's just got some of the worst agendas. So he's just going to never advance here, trying to keep drawing these blackmails out until he runs out, I guess.
He needs to draw Jackson, so he's just trying to waste Val's time.
Yep.
And
Time.
he doesn't bite that time.
Nope, doesn't bite it. Could be an agenda here. Not going for it.
There's some cool mind games going on because they both know that Laurie has a second blackmail in hand.
Right, and same old thing, and we don't know, and also all these deja vus. You just have to assume there are 12 blackmails constantly in that deck. Very well done here. She just wanted to push it out because they were building up in hand.
I want to give props to both players. Looks like they both are donators to JNet. Got the alt art cards on both sides.
Yes. Everyone should be a donator. I think as little as $5, maybe you get those cards. I don't know if there's any minimum.
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely all take it for a little bit for granted that we have this platform that we get to play.
Not me, man. I drop money on those guys.
Yeah,
all
that's
the time.
good. Yeah, everyone should do that. Even on your
I'm
Smurfs.
I hate PC money though, right? Yeah. That's how they should make money. You have to pay per account, right? So
There
if
you
you have
go.
Smurfs, it's like $10 a Smurf.
Your barcode is gonna have to have.
Barcode tax.
Here comes the medium blackmail runs.
It's the obelisk. Yep,
This is
building.
the gross part, right? Like, what can he do about this?
No. So even if you're not on a siphon deck, you can still do this garbage, right? And, oh, yeah.
I guess his one like fortunate thing is that he's got a lot of agendas in his hand. So
That helps a little bit, but this is going to get real ugly because now it's like same old thing, blackmail, deja vu, en passant, right? And that weak point just grows and grows.
mm-hmm.
It's going to get ugly here real quick. 3 deja vus in hand. I think we're going to a third game here, guys.
Well, maybe. Alex still has a shot for sure. Icing up R&D is definitely the right move. Otherwise, like you said, you can do another Alphasan and then suddenly R&D's part of it.
That's the beauty. Usually HB has enough ice. Let's check the list. I see 16, which, for nowadays is a decent amount.
Laurie commenting in chat, he's definitely aware of his degeneracy.
Yeah. If people don't know Laurie, he is just a degenerate through and through. Both these guys are really nice guys, though. They're both community organizers for their areas. Laurie from the UK, Alex from Germany. Really nice guys. I worked out prize support from the NRPC for both of them for their tournaments they're running.
Nice. Do the different regions get different price support?
No, not really. I just kind of, whatever I had on to trade dice and IDs and stuff, like that people that weren't at Worlds couldn't get, I basically traded or sold to them to run their stuff back home.
Very cool.
I'd like to start differentiating, but takes time and money, I guess.
Somehow
We can come up with our own stuff anyway, like that Max.
Yep.
Somehow I have not met Laurie. I'm not sure how that's happened, but he's like one of the few players that I know of that I haven't met.
Once you get through that third door, Greg, there are multiple doors to the Cool Kids Club. And then at the end of all the doors is the testing house that Timmy and the West Coast guys were in.
Yeah.
I think the UK crew was a little insular at Worlds this year. Just understandable, right? Like, such a big group and they came a long way. They're all good friends.
Yeah.
It's hard to make someone.
They have enough people to be in their own community for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We got the siphon finally coming down.
Here it comes.
No stopping it here.
Yeah, he did an obelisk draw off R&D
Yep.
and then iPad Works and then run.
And use that. So
And
he's
still
getting,
listed his hand.
Yeah, so instead of going the en passant route, he could have just kept hammering with en passant on medium. And he's decided he wanted to do a siphon run here. A little interesting, and these are expensive runs for House, right? 2 architects.
Yeah, but getting that second off is pretty big.
It's nice, I guess.
Now Alex is kind of poor, so now he probably can't res both types on R&D.
Maybe. And even if he can, I think the play next turn would be rebirth Omar, right? And do another medium run to draw back up.
Very likely, yeah. You have to ditch so much recursion for this play. That does hurt.
And Omar is so good in this matchup when you rebirth into it. Really good in that deck in general. If you guys coming up with that out of Wizard, that was fantastic.
Yeah, I've definitely been ever since then. I've been playing Wizard with a rebirth, and it makes me so happy.
It's so good, yeah. Omar just pushed rebirth like into the stratosphere.
Yeah,
Like always good now.
Yeah,
like in Val it was an auto include, but now in Wizard it's just sick.
I'm not even playing a way to get through Lotus Field, and it's still not that big. It's not even that big of a deal because it's like you can't protect all your servers.
No, and here we go. I mean, an ID with a free sneak door for 1 influence. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah,
A super sneak door, we should say.
Yes.
Field of fire here.
Yeah, it begins. So he Omars to draw a bunch, drawing into his 3rd blackmail. So now he can blackmail R&D next turn and draw 4 cards.
I know. I can't look, guys. Can't look. Getting ugly.
But
Oh, here
luckily Alex has all these agendas in hand, right?
Yeah, that helps. You're right, though, Jimmy, because, I mean, it's just like he doesn't have multi-access for the hand, so it is a nice, safe place right now.
Yeah, he just needs to figure out a way if he can actually push them out.
Biotics, I guess.
Like, he's too poor to do much of that.
Right now, yes, for sure.
Yeah, like, bioticing out to get to 4 points doesn't really... It's not going to help him get to the finish line, you know?
No. And now with Laurie getting the Mimic, it's going to be much easier to siphon. Without that, I don't think you see another siphon, but now it's going to be a problem. Going to keep him poor.
Now HQ is vulnerable.
Using Sand. You're right. He's just staying poor. No, R&D.
He's going to lose off R&D. You're on 2 credits.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's the game. Maybe just figured, F it, I'm down anyhow.
He could have clicked up for more credits and then used Biotic and Sand to score the sales team, and then the sales team would get him back up.
Right. Nice little drip, for sure. Really expensive, though. He'd need another turn of money and hope to not get siphoned.
Yeah, and he needs to purge at some point, too.
Purging is a crutch. I think he's on 1 wire suit or 2. Let's take a look. He's on 2, so maybe he's hoping or he just hits 1 at some point. I don't think we've seen 1 yet. Is there 1 in the remote? I don't know. Not a good place to put it.
The CBS?
Yes.
Oh, he was maybe hoping to fade a blackmail into the remote.
Mm-hmm. That virtual tour there is really nice now, though. Oof. More en passant. Omar run. Deep dig. I think we might hit the virus suite now. Oh no.
He's going HQ. Nice.
Why not?
Probably the right call. Gotta get those HQ hits into.
Yep. It's probably the most forgotten place to attack. Even on single access. He's just going everywhere now, going ham on him.
That's what happens when you go down really low. Like, that's what the Siphon deck is trying to do to you, and
Yep.
you just did it for them. But trashing the Santan is definitely a good call.
Yep.
Oh, there's a CBS.
Oh, he did have it in the road. I missed it. Yeah, I figured it was out there maybe, but this is nice, and it's going to wipe Laurie out of credits.
Oh, and the virtual tour.
You're right. That's why he goes Sand there, because it's going to force him to go broke with the virtual.
Yeah.
Because he saw the credit pool.
You need to spend some money first.
Maybe you're right. Maybe Laurie should have spent some money. I don't know. Did he have anything? He could have dropped a second medium or the Mimic. You're right. Maybe he should have ducked down to get under
You
it.
played this Libacats, I think.
Or that, right? You know, yeah. Maybe a misplay on Laurie's part right there. Got overzealous.
He wanted to deny the Santan, which is understandable.
Of
And he
course,
wanted to pressure.
but he knew the virtual tour was there, right? He knew he had to duck it.
Well, I forgot. He could have forgotten. Right. Like so
Wow.
many cards.
Okay. That's true. Well, if he forgot, man, he should not be in the top deck tournament. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
I'm going to drop bombs. I'm not in this tournament. I don't care. Be the Skip Bayless here, just throw rocks from the sidelines.
So that set Laurie back like a full turn, basically. He
Right.
has to click up to do this.
With no siphon in sight, right? Yeah. It's looking rough. And the CVS, right? So now R&D is safe for a while. The double medium, though, maybe that's the route. Maybe Laurie just does that and just fousts through.
Yeah, he can easily pass through. Like he draws a card after discarding a card, so it doesn't really cost him much.
No. He has an inject ready. Or does he go for money? Does he just decide to liberate it for a turn? And does he think he has time here?
Did Alex just put in a Gemma deck?
I think, did he put the sales team there? I think he put the
so.
sales team there and he's going to biotic it next turn if he doesn't come after it.
I think that's a good call.
Yeah, so he's going double medium. So they're going up. Ooh.
It's on the clock. Oh, the
Yeah,
knife.
they're both going their own clocks here. Decides to give up money for medium, which is not a bad play after knifing the vanilla. Just going to go ham on RNG.
I mean, Alex has enough points in hand to score out. The problem is he has like no realistic way of scoring this food.
No, he has to re-ice up here. He has plenty of ice, right? So maybe Eli Magnet or a Fairchild. Well, he's the David. Maybe you don't want to go against that. Oh, he's just going for the money, giving up R&D. There's still a lot of points in there, and only 23 cards.
This does not seem like
Ugh.
good.
He's really hoping it's a second CBS, I guess. I don't know. Seems like a huge gamble. Wow, from Laurie. Same reaction as us, Laurie. I like it. I mean, the balls he plays on both parts here.
He needed to wait like a turn or two, I think. Right?
Right.
2 ice on R&D.
Maybe this is the play. He's hoping to lure him in the HQ, like divert his attention. I still think he just R&D the hell out of it.
Yeah, you have 2 mediums.
Right. I'm going to draw a ton of cards. Come and see. Come and see.
Okay, so I apologize. The stream might freeze up for everybody for a second because I had to switch my my theme. I'm hoping that will fix some of the flickering that's going on. So
Okay.
Oh, cool. Thanks for working on that while we
yeah, sorry.
on.
All right, it's back now.
Oh, mediums.
Oh, shite. This is it.
It's absurd.
Here we go. Wait,
This is why you play 3 mediums. Like,
yes.
It's just
To play all 3.
sometimes. Every once in a blue moon.
Yeah, it's just to see him early for sure. Although, I mean, we've seen most of the deck by now. Got the rumor mill ready in case he thinks Howard's going to help.
I didn't notice the Joshua B that Laurie snuck in. That's a cool include.
It's not a bad idea. If you got him under siphon pressure.
Yeah, it's a little more econ pressure.
Oh, the interface broke.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. Dan.
It'd be nice to get a proper ending, but
It
yeah, I
would.
don't see how Alex can possibly get out.
I mean, regardless of what he puts in the way at this point, right? I mean, unless he hits the CBS before he wins. I don't think he can even stop it.
He needs to like draw Biotic, shuffle with Jackson, then draw like ABT, and then Biotic that at.
That's all.
Yeah.
Doesn't he have how many biotics are in the bin? He hasn't found a Howard yet. 2 biotics in the bin. It's not looking good. The lack of Howards really hurt him.
Yeah, never drawing Jackson was terrible for him.
Yep. Actually terrible for everyone who doesn't draw.
Yeah, pretty important card. All right, let's see if it works this time.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
10 cards.
Seems good.
Almost half of R&D. There you go. Or what? 3, 6. Yeah. That's it.
Yep,
There it
that's
is. GG.
Yeah, tough matchup for HB. You really have to play like really on point and really carefully.
You know, a successful ABT though would be really nice.
Yeah. You have a few ads.
Yeah. He just never saw the ABTs.
Okay. So we need to, yeah.
All right, so
Side.
let's see. I'm gonna do Jank in
Nice.
Top Tech channel on Slack, and whatever it picks corporate runner, that's gonna be what Laurie does.
That's good.
All right, so Laurie's gonna run.
Okay, here we go.
GG.
We don't have to go through IG again. Probably a plus for the viewers at home.
Yeah, like Alex can't be happy either way it goes, right? Either he has to face IG again or he has to face Siphon Val again.
Yeah,
No fun.
neither are preferable. Like if Alex had more hate in his Andy deck, you know, maybe it'd be viable, like employee strikes or I don't know, sec tests.
Yeah.
Okay, he's
He
trying to.
had a okay matchup, it looks like. I mean, I don't know about that. Like, it looks like he definitely had a number of plays he could make. It's just very hard.
True.
Like mentally taxing to figure out like what the right lines are.
Yeah. You look exhausted just thinking about it, Tim.
Yeah. That's, I think, the secret advantage of all these like asset spam decks. Like, if the runner plays perfectly, they can beat you, but it's really hard for them to do that.
Yep. I played it in one regional this year. The IG, I got second. And that was part of it. I'm like, I'm never taxed. I was always fresh playing it. Like, I was fine with all the shuffling and that. You're right. I could see the opponents just getting exhausted as the games went on.
Right. One of the many reasons it's a scumbag deck.
Yes. Are you a scumbag if you play it? I mean, is that what you're saying to me? Are you trying to imply that, or?
It makes you more of a scumbag. It raises your meter.
Okay. What would you say about someone playing an en passant or Siphon Anarch deck? Are they scumbags too, or?
Yeah, it's on the spectrum. So isn't this the wrong size? Oh no, it is.
Yeah, I got him swapped.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So now,
Predictions? Are we giving this one to Laurie in the prediction category?
I mean, I think it leans his favor, as we said before.
yeah, it's hard for HB to deal with Val, but he does know exactly what his opponent's up to now. Alex's plan.
Does that change his play?
He just needs to like get a better hand, go faster. Like ABT.
It's not a bad start for him here. 2 ice, some money, and draw. You're right. An ABT like with 2 ice would be awesome for sure.
Yep.
Fairchild's really good.
Yes.
There's the ABT.
Better hand for both players, I think.
Yeah, do you double ISO? He's doing that. Interesting. Would you double ice HQ at that point? Or are you worried about medium?
You have to worry about everything. The Val deck probably only plays 2 siphons, so I think double ice HQ first turn is probably premature.
Just a little overkill. Sure, that's fair. And
You
you
could
get
close
res.
on R&D.
Yeah. Gonna push the remote quickly here. Force blackmails. Smart. Jam a virtual tour at this point. No.
Yeah, I think I like putting the virtual tour in there.
Next turn, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
because it's
move
early,
up for the first 2 clicks.
and I think it's early enough in the game where like Laurie probably will get the vibe of like, oh, I got to play my blackmail because he might be like testing to see if I started with one type of thing, you know?
I'll tell you, the en passant really ups the butcher level of this deck, though. Man, so good.
Yeah, it's gnarly.
Yeah.
Zero cost.
You can do crap like Blackmail HQ, en passant, Siphon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do all sorts of great stuff. Yeah, the blackmail, just that card should be banned.
It's going to rotate. Then Val will be very different.
Yeah. Should be bad.
I mean, is blackmail that bad if there's not a runner who starts with a bad pub?
No, like no one played it before that.
Yeah. Well, I think you could maybe play corporate scandal and play it, but I don't know.
Yeah. It takes just
There
more
was
work.
there was a Chaos Theory deck that played activist support and then sold it with Aesop so it could blackmail you.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was like a fun, like very janky deck to have. But then Val came out and there was no reason to play that deck.
I actually brought a breakerless noise mill deck that played corporate scandal blackmail to King of Servers, but I ended up not playing it. But it's actually really fun and it does all right.
Yeah. Blackmail's a sick card.
It's one of those things where you always score, like the first time they put a agenda down to score it, you always get it because they don't expect that you're going to install corporate scan or you're going to play corporate scandal and then blackmail.
With Val, at least there's this mind game where they're almost always trying to trick you somehow.
Mhm.
Yeah. And everybody against noise, like their first reaction is, I'm going to put 2 ice on a remote and try to score something. So it was pretty good, but I don't think it was good enough.
Obviously not, no. So Laurie's focusing on R&D with the blackmails, and Alex is deciding to jam an ABT there. He's going to fire next turn, hoping he's not going to come in the remote. Playing it cool.
Hmm. Yeah, it's crazy because this is also his card draw.
Right. That's why he's focusing on the medium, I think. And Alex knows that, I believe, by double icing R&D, forcing that out.
But now he drew into the Siphon, so now he really wishes that he'd went HQ instead so he could do that en passant HQ play.
Or just do that next turn, right? Same old thing, blackmail, and passant siphon.
Yeah, so he's got to be thinking about saving his en passant now.
And en passant just really creates a lot more pressure everywhere. God, it's sick. Does he go at the remote here with the blackmail? He could same old thing and still en passant it. He had a global food on that access. Very interesting turn here for Laurie. What would Timmy do right here?
I would probably click for credits and just set up that play for next turn. Oh, but he does double en passant. Wow.
He basically wipes R&D to force pressure their next turn. Like, do you fire the ABT now? Maybe you just do that and just try to survive the medium if it fails. I mean, if you fail with it, you lose.
Yeah, I just think landing the Siphon is a bigger priority play.
Sure. I think Laurie just wants to create more R&D pressure. Doesn't look like it hit. Well, maybe he's thinking. Wish we could see those. Why can't we see those cards? Oh, nice.
Okay,
he hit all 3.
Very nice.
That's a good one. But Laurie just has the spoon.
Oh, he's got a trash. I'll tell him.
Spoon is so good right now.
Yeah, good tech. Just leave your agendas in temporary zone.
It's hard to access them there.
Yeah. It's a Glen station for you, man. That's a great side benefit. Oh. he got a fair shot though. That's pretty solid. But if he loses 2 agendas here, that's pretty bad. Yeah, thank you. And you have a loud mechanical keyboard there, Greg.
It's my StarCraft keyboard.
I like it.
Nice.
He probably lost to Howard in there, knowing his luck with Howard's these games.
Yeah. So Laurie just spoons first.
Oh, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
That's the ABT problem.
Great
Well,
play.
at least he didn't pay.
Oh, he paid with 2 face down cards. But
Yeah.
he may have a turn to save him here. Well, no, he's gonna have 2 cards off of a medium dig. Ugh, not looking good. And an agenda. And 2 seconds in hand. GG.
Kind of insane.
Yeah, I was thinking about this Val deck for a store champ. Probably not a nice thing to do, but as you can see, it's very powerful.
Yeah. I think Joseki was saying how he thought this might be like one of the strongest runners now.
Well, yeah, with the addition of En Passant.
Yeah. Like, I think Wizard might still be better against CTM, but the store champ field isn't going to be as monochromatic as Wills was.
Right, exactly. Oof.
Yeah. Like,
All right,
at this
sure.
point,
En Passant.
when Val is at 6, like, at any time I can just, like, blackmail RD and get the points you need, so
Yeah,
Passant.
crazy.
it's over. He probably had one in the ABT.
You can't lock her out.
No, exactly. All you can do is fast advance. He needed a really good ABT.
Where does he on Passant?
R&D, where he just ran.
He could do HQ, too. Oh, no. He has to pass it.
Yeah.
Oh, he screwed up. Because he ran archives, and en passant says
Last successful.
he needs to do that first. It's his top deck. Alright, so what does Alex have down in the server?
Not an agenda, I don't think.
Yeah, he kept it. Did he just draw something and slam it in? I missed it. We're great commentators here.
We're just like chatting.
Well, it feels like it's over. He gave us a Howard, 2 siphons, not
Oh, what can Alex do?
I don't think he really has an out at this point. Like, we haven't even seen a siphon land. Like, you're almost like, does this deck even need it? Like, you can just. I played a blackmail spam at the icebreaker. I'm thinking, wow, you could just do that with En Passant. And
Yeah, that's why the deck is sick. Like with Wizard, if you shut down their siphon plan completely, then the deck doesn't function. But with Val, it's like they always just have this awesome other like backup plan, or they like blackmail your remote so you can't do anything.
right.
And then you can play DDoS too, so it's like,
That too. I think the deck only runs 1 or 2 of those. Let me look here.
Probably-
Doesn't even really need it.
probably just ran out of space, yeah.
Oh, he doesn't have any, yeah.
Nope, it was an agenda.
He went with Josh B. It was an agenda, yeah. I think he's just in a rush. He's just going to push this never advance, hoping that he's running out of blackmails here. Focusing
Yeah.
on R&D.
I mean, I think that's the narrow window to win at this point.
I agree. Sadly, he has the money. Nice.
If he could sneak one more out, and now he's just a biotic labor away from winning the game, you know?
Yeah. Biotic ABT Fire, maybe. I do love the irony that this En Passant, it's a Reyna card because, of course, Damon loves Reyna. But it's like, of course, it's a Val card. Like, I mean, that's the most obvious choice for it.
Well, guys, we should stop choosing to play it in Val, so...
We should? Oh, yeah.
I mean, I could see it in Reyna too, right? If Headlock still functioned, it'd be pretty brutal there too.
Oh,
Sure.
now let's talk about a deck that I could not stand as a headlock
I
deck.
know.
That's if that deck would have got as popular as IG, it would have also destroyed metas.
Yeah.
You had to deal with it the most, right? Because Sam was the one who came up with it.
Well, I don't play in Sam's in Dallas. I'm in Houston, so we only meet up
Okay.
at like regionals and the like. But luckily, it wasn't during a regional season, so or even store champs. I think it was kind of in between. It was kind of in between tournaments. So
Yeah, thankfully. Very frustrating deck to play against.
Mm-hmm. You got a virus wipe at this point, don't you think? You
That's
know,
nice. R&D first.
yeah, it doesn't even do anything.
Otherwise, Val can just run R&D 4 times.
Yep, just gonna jam the remotes. Laurie's low on money. He gave up the siphon plan.
Yeah, I guess like he just thinks it's too much work when he's in such a good position.
Mm-hmm. Do you fire the ABT here? I think you go for it, right? Got to.
Yeah, you know it's safe.
I
The
mean, you're
problem
gonna.
is you're just making more fresh cards go to the top of R&D.
That's true, right? Fresh
Right.
look for these 5 credits soon to be. But yeah, you're right. You know it's safe to a degree. Oh,
Yeah, but I
nice.
mean, don't you just assuredly lose off R&D if you don't fire it, right? I mean,
Right, that's true.
Yeah,
like how are you going to draw an agenda? Like you can't.
Don't you think Laurie now has to be worried? Because now it's just a biotic away from the win in his mind. It could be a biotic and agenda in hand at this point.
yeah. Alex is playing to his outs really well.
Really well. Like, do you think maybe also Laurie's looking at that huge credit pool, feeling like the siphon is not even going to do anything?
He also maybe felt like he didn't want to lose to some like random tag punishment card, right?
Like what? A close?
Yeah, something. But
I suppose.
yeah, if he just took the moment to like set up a siphon. Okay, he's just doing it now.
Well, what about the new card? Is it Best Defense? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
That's
mean,
true.
don't you have to be worried about that? Maybe like.
It's not bad. But I mean, if you have no way to tag them naturally,
Yeah, but I'm saying if he's going to he was worried about taking a lot of siphon tags, you know what I'm
I
saying?
guess. I don't know.
It's a reasonable card for even like HP to play because it trashes like net ready
Right.
guys whenever,
Yes. Yeah. I agree. It's better than Foxfire.
right?
More useful in that regard. I actually was thinking about adding one. I tell you what, they do hate it when you trash their obelisk and they have like 12 cards in there.
Mm.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
It's like employee striking CI.
Yeah. So Alex has put a lot of pressure on Laurie now
Mhm.
because now that he's on game point, Laurie has to. He wants to like check all the stuff. Like he drew into this blackmail. Now he has to blackmail the remote probably.
You think? Maybe. Maybe you could just blackmail R&D and you have 4 counters still.
Yeah, he can Faust through the Eli and the Quandary, and just
Like what did
C5
what
cards.
did Alex install? Like I'm surprised he didn't go CVS here.
I think the right play is to hit R&D. I think you blackmail R&D and you just
Yeah.
hope you win the game right now.
Maybe if you're Laurie thinking if you put a CVS in there though, you're kind of wrecked.
Oh, that's a good point. He did have a CVS.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why he didn't play that.
Because wouldn't you be really worried about 4 medium counters or 5, soon to be 5?
Yeah,
He might have drawn into both CVS and put
yeah,
one
you,
down.
you
Yeah.
might be right. Actually, they might have
Yeah, I
both
think
been.
so.
Okay, so chat is confirming does in fact have a CVS in server 1.
Yes, yeah, that's a smart move.
So I think Laurie definitely has a hard decision right here. He's
You blackmail the remote? No. Yeah, this is the call. Stay on point.
yeah, and now you're gonna force him
It'll be a
to
clutch
use the
CVS.
CVS.
Yeah, that's fine. Alex has the money for it.
Although it's really fortunate, Alex has another CVS in his hand, so he can basically do this exact
Yeah.
same play next turn.
Super good. Yeah, honestly, the lack of siphon has really kept Alex in this game.
Oh, we got a Black Orchestra sighting. It's a rare sighting.
Desperate to save those cards.
When
I
it's
just-
good, you're really happy you have it.
I just want to imagine what Val's face looks like when she breaks an ice with Black Orchestra. It's probably like the most disgusted look that a person can have.
Yeah.
It's like I'm a reporter. Why am I dealing with all this conspiracy bullshit?
She deals in facts.
I gotta admit, I always root for the underdog, so I'm pulling for Alex here, just out of sheer like underdogness.
Yeah, me too. While we were like despairing over his fate, he was like figuring out how he could win.
Yeah.
Just like jam agendas and hope that Laurie gets too tunneled on R&D to like deal with it. And yeah, Laurie was maybe too aggressive on R&D. He was just like wanted to get the win, but it's kind of slipping through his fingers.
This is a new card or no? Because he did fire the ABT.
He did.
Ooh, he can on the last R&D ice now.
Oh, that seems good.
Which he will do. Yep, makes it a little easier to come back.
So now he can get into R&D for a card and 2 clips. It's still decent pressure.
Oh, and he draws Seven Trivias!
Yeah, but do you gamble pushing it out at this point or wait for the biotic?
Oh, I think you draw like a madman.
I
think you just draw like a madman and try to get that biotic, maybe.
Once again, hasn't seen a Howard yet. Only 18 cards left. He's going to put another CVS to keep himself alive.
How many biotics does he have left?
2, unless one got trashed in a
it's
a 3 face down.
Oh yeah, he could potentially have face down ones from the ABT fires.
Yeah,
that definitely changes things. Does he have any? He's not playing any archive, which is really surprising.
It is bizarre. He has a Sand, 3 biotic. Yeah, I almost always put 1 archive memory.
You gotta have at least 1. I mean, it's such
hard.
Yeah, it's such a great. It's basically it's any card you want it to be.
Yeah,
yeah, it's a really really good card.
For 0.
All right. Alex is doing the Hollywooding, as Benny would call it. Please blackmail my remote so that I can Hellion beta test you.
Yeah. Alex is feeling the vapors. Oh, come on, please.
Oh, yeah, the MVT and the Hellion beta test would be so sick right now.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be so good. I hope this is what happens.
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome.
This is good table talk by Alex here. Like I said, this is what you want to do. Like, you see them do the blackmail, like, oh, no, you got me. Maybe
he's selling a little too hard, though.
Yeah, I think Laurie smells that something's funny.
Yeah, right. I know from playing a lot of poker, usually when someone talks like that, it's usually they say the opposite of what they...
Oh, no doubt. Usually. But on the other hand, he doesn't really have any other option for blackmail, right? Like, where else can you use it right now? So I guess the question is, does he want to hit a virtual tour? I guess you can see that second.
I still like the banner though. I think banner's fun.
Yeah, it's great. Wes, who placed 3rd this year, he's like famous for being the biggest banter ever. I think Spags can attest to that.
Yeah, I apologize to him. All right. Yeah, I was listening to the Run Last Click podcast. It was interesting hearing Dan and John talking. Dan's like, I love the banter. It's all I want. And Joseki's like, I just want to play. Like, we don't have to talk. I don't want to talk. And sometimes I go both ways. I love the chat, but that game against West last year, I was just like, shut the F up, dude. I'm like, no offense, but I'm like, I want to play right here. And I understand what all my outs are. You don't have to tell me.
I think that the only time that people kind of can get to me, and I probably shouldn't admit this publicly, is people that narrate every single thing that you do. Like you're like like click one draw, and they're like draw a card. And you're like, okay, yeah, all right, thank you.
Yeah,
that was the West.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah,
it's happening.
But he was able to duck the virtual tour here.
Yeah, he's too smart. Too smart.
Good calculation there.
Well, if there's any trash card, he was going to be able to get under, except for, even if
he still should be able to. Is he going to fire the beta test? You think we're going to see that next turn?
The beta test.
Yeah, the Hellion. The Hellion. Get rid of medium.
Or the Faust.
It's non-program cards, unfortunately.
Oh, right.
Which is not that big of a deal, right?
Yeah. What's the trace on it? A 2. I guess he has the money for it. Here he comes.
God, they almost made that card good.
It was better.
It's really close to being good.
It's cards.
Like, trashing the Obelisk here is not the worst.
No, kills the card draw.
But Foxfire is just better, right? Isn't it? I don't know.
No. Didn't win. Single accesses here. Both CVS in the bin, though. That's good news for Laurie.
Oh, we got a Jackson. That could bring back some biotics.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did actually find out there is only one biotic in the trash. So there are 2 biotics alive in R&D right now.
Maybe does he overdraw this turn, or does he never advance?
He could never advance. Like, Laurie has 1 card in hand.
I wished Alex would have iced Archive, though. Look at that. He drew the perfect card. He can Omar R&D next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
Laurie's definitely probably suspicious that Alex is sitting on an agenda waiting to find a way to score it.
Or that Alex is sitting here for 5 minutes waiting, thinking of what to do.
Game is down to the wire.
Interesting.
Goes Jackson, draw.
Assembly lines in the server, and then when he rebirths into Omar, you ice Archive.
Like, if you're really savvy, you could preemptively ice Archives here. But
I just say just do the assembly line, and you can do it in between clicks.
yeah, no, that's a great call. But he does want to just ice up R&D too, because right now Laurie's can't get a.
Or that, yeah. Maybe assembly lines and just does his first click next turn, and then Laurie will Omar over. I mean, how do you? He doesn't know the rebirths there. What are the odds? But I mean, he's only down to 12 cards in his deck. Okay, you're right. I think he's going to triple ice with an Ichi probably.
Yeah, I like this play.
I think it's fine because even if he Omar's in, he's going to fire the Howard and water it down. Probably like a CVS, a Biotic, and what else would you put back at this point?
So he actually he went for he goes and installs an Architect instead of the Ichi.
Oh, save money, I guess. Can't click through.
Can't click through it. Save money. Yeah, those are all, I guess, reasonable.
I guess.
Oh, this is scary.
This is really scary.
2 CVS, 1 CVS Biotic Sansan for the Howard.
Oh, he goes for the meat. He goes for okay. So of course he goes for the counters.
Wow, you trusted his deck. Now what if Laurie sees a Biotic here?
Ooh.
What do you do?
I think you just lose. Maybe I don't know.
He doesn't have any choice. He doesn't have any cards. I guess he plays iPad worse here. He's out of money, out of cards.
Yeah, I think he needs to get some cards. He needs to probably play that.
He's in trouble. Imagine next turn Laurie puts that Ichi on Archives. Now it's getting pretty well shut out.
Well, he can still get in once for like 2 extra accesses.
That's true. True enough. He's always
Every
got
access
cards.
is so huge here.
Oh, I don't know.
This seems like a last ditch effort right here.
Wow, yeah.
He knows that he could lose at any time.
He's really
Maybe
desperate.
He Biotic on top.
I bet he saw a Biotic. He had to have, because he knows he's going to lose.
Good.
Oh!
He gets it.
Oh, God, I think. Oh man, that
what a
was
game.
probably his last chance too.
This game's all about luck. Forget it.
Let's find out if Biotic was coming up.
I'm sure. Yeah, go ahead and ask.
So here's the thing. I realized a little after ff0x made that turn is that, like, why did he do the assembly lines play? Like, it gets him a few credits, but it makes it so that he only has 4 cards in HQ, right?
Yeah.
Like, he did the efficiency play, but right there he really didn't need the money. And what would have been better was to keep the assembly lines in hand for the extra HQ pattern.
Yeah, I agree. I was surprised there wasn't a Howard Fire either, but I mean, you're talking a 1 in 4 chance, but it's still a chance. You know?
But that's like 5% more than 1 in 5. So every edge matters.
It's true. As we saw in that IG game, right? I mean, Laurie lost the same way on those percentages.
Trying to find out if there was a Biotic coming up. I really want to know that.
Yeah, have him look at his deck. Ask Alex. Why won't they answer that? They didn't want to answer the question we all wanted. I wish we could look at the jam decks.
Well, Laurie knows the answer too. He saw three. No, he saw two cards. No. Okay, so he had. So the game would have went on for a few more turns.
Interesting plays.
Yeah. If Alex had jammed the agenda down, he might have gone there. It's so hard to say, of course.
Hard to say.
Oh, jeez, we just tripled up on use bags. I don't know why that happened.
What's that?
So my Zoom call just glitched, and now there's 3 of you on the stream. I shouldn't have moved this.
Is Alex gonna join us?
Yeah, he's gonna join us. He's only got voice, so I'm gonna send him the URL and get him on here to talk to us while I fix this stupid thing.
That's good.
Some good games.
Very good games. I'm gonna get Alex on right now. I'm gonna have to do some technical stuff for a second, so if you guys wouldn't mind just talking to him.
We'll keep him busy.
All right.
I gotta make a quick call. I'll be back in a second. Go ahead, Timmy.
Okay.
Uh-oh, Timmy show upcoming.
Running the stream. All right.
All right, so I invited him. Should be just a sec.
Sure.
All right, let's fix this.
I'm reading the chat too, so if anyone has any questions they want me to ask Alex, feel free to mention that in the Twitch chat.
Man, so those were some really good games.
Yeah, they were. A lot of interesting new. I mean, it's like cool seeing like what cool decks people are playing now, right?
Yeah.
And how they play against each other. This runner seems hard to beat.
Yeah, this runner seems absolutely nasty. I'm not looking forward to playing against this.
Yeah, this is just like one of the many forces that's pushing like traditional corp decks kind of out of the meta. Because you're not playing like CTM against this. How do you beat it?
Yep.
But
I think
it's really cool seeing that last game come down to the wire. That's always fun.
Yeah, I can't remember who was saying this the other day, but they made a good point. They were basically saying how the top 16 was, you know, there were so many CTM and Wizards, and that it was more like the CTMs are a response to the Wizards more than it being, you know what I mean? Like it's like the Wizards, the real problem is the one that causes everyone to play CTM. But I could see this deck doing the exact same thing.
I think even more so. Before the tournament, I was thinking like Val is really, really strong, and basically her only Achilles heel is CTM. Like she just is really tough for any traditional corp deck to deal with. So
Right.
I think like if for some reason CTM had been underrepresented, Val would have crushed it.
Yeah. All right, I think I fixed this, kind of, almost. But Timmy, now if you could move over to the other direction.
Oh, the other direction.
Yeah. Now you're perfect. Excellent. Now we're just
Ever
waiting.
shifting Timmy.
Now we're just waiting on Alex to join. Let me see.
I see him in there.
And oh yeah, I see an ff0x window.
Okay, let's see if he can hear.
He's probably testing his sound.
Is he alive?
Hello, Alex. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me too?
Yes, we hear you. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. Great games, man.
Yeah, thanks. I certainly hope the other one was going a bit differently, but
Alex, great comeback in that last one. You almost had it. I was cheering for you.
Yeah, that was I think we were definitely rooting for you in that last one. We felt like you were the underdog at some point, and you just kind of. It seemed like you picked a line that it was probably the only line you had, and you stuck to it, and it paid off.
When you were down 2-6, I think all of us basically wrote you off. We were like, "This is over. You can't do anything." And then suddenly you were at 6 points too. It was amazing.
Never advance is great. I love it.
So we were at the end there. I guess we were. I'm assuming you were really hoping to draw a Biotic Labor. That probably would have been pretty good.
Oh yeah, Biotic would have been absolutely awesome.
Yeah, we were noting the lack of archive memories in your deck. What's do you have like a reason why you're not playing in archive memories, or is there something you just couldn't fit it, or another card you like better?
Yeah, I just couldn't fit it in, and it wouldn't even have helped that much in this game because all I had in the bin was Sun, right?
No,
you had a Biotic.
You had a Biotic, yeah.
I had? I
Yeah.
thought I never advanced all of the agendas. Yeah, my mistake then. Anyway, I don't have one, so...
Yeah, I think it was the first agenda you might have Biotic'd out at the very beginning of the game.
Yeah, that could have been.
Yeah, you Biotic the Vitruvius, I believe, just to get it out of your hand.
No, I never advanced the Vitruvius. I was kicking myself.
Maybe that was a previous game.
Yeah, I think that was the previous game, because I actually kicked myself that I installed the Vitruvius instead of the second ABT, because I wanted to fire the ABT next turn again, because I started with the 3 agendas, basically.
Did you lose a Biotic on the ABT? I'm pretty sure there was one in the
game
bin.
before. I lost the Hedge Fund and the Sun. I'm fairly certain I had no ABT in the bin.
No Biotic?
No Biotic in the bin, yes. Just the Sun.
I still have the game up. There's definitely a Biotic in the bin, but I have no idea how it got there. I'm trying to scroll back through the chat, but it only
maybe the first ABT. I don't know. Could have been.
Yeah, it could have. Yeah, maybe it was the first ABT.
Probably right.
Let's talk about the other matchup that we had against IG. How are you feeling going into that with your Andy deck?
Usually quite confident, and most of the changes I made for the deck didn't really affect the matchup anyway. I only cut cards that I wouldn't have used and put cards in that I didn't need anyway. And for me and Andy, Douche's Wild is just one of the key cards to build up pressure in the beginning of the game because it allows me to do so much in the very first couple of turns. Check the HQ eyes, maybe even check a remote with just one click, or get extra money, extra cards, whatever I need. It's so much pressure.
Yeah, that expose on the HQ DNA tracker really swung that game, I think. It let you land that brutal turn 1 siphon, and also at the very end, it let you make that like aggressive attack HQ play because you knew that you could res the ice there.
Yeah, when I saw he was at 3 credits, I thought, oh, that's an opening. Let's take it.
Yeah,
very nice call there. We were like, why is he paying 7 credits for this Moment Temple? That makes no sense. And then it suddenly made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think that was kind of there was a little bit of a theme of that. There was a couple in all the games. There was like a point where we'd be like, well, why is he doing that? And then next turn we would see exactly why.
Alex, we were really wondering why you had Turning Wheel in opening hand. Why didn't you knew you were going to have a lot of central accesses with the multiple Temujin. We're surprised you didn't get that down early. That's your only multi-access card, and we figured at some point you're going to want to sweep HQ or really dig deep on R&D. I was just a little shocked that didn't come down like second or third turn.
Yeah, for me, when playing against IG, the multi-access cards only ever mattered late in the game, really late. And in the beginning, I was more worried having enough hit points in my hand than getting multi-access.
The problem was that Turning Wheel takes so long to charge up, right? Like if you manage to put it down early, that's like all those late accesses that you want are being charged up. Yeah, but it is tough. You don't want to randomly die early either.
And the thing with turning wheel is, I mean, R&D does get, HQ does get a little bit better in the end when a lot of the assets hit the table. So I might not actually need to dig that deep to find the last points.
For sure. But it always helps to have that insurance, right?
Yeah, it's a judgment call, and I wasn't quite sure how long I could keep up trashing things in the remotes in the beginning too. So those 2 extra credits and the extra click and maybe drawing up an extra card was really a lot of tempo that I would have put on the table.
Right. If you could have devoted that to just Temujin, turning wheel, and centrals maybe instead of trashing, it may have created a lot more pressure because you got to get those accesses before he gets set up. You're right. It's a fine balance between trash and access versus that deck.
Yeah, for me, I really didn't want him to have the Mumba temples running too early. And because then all my siphons basically lose their bite, especially when I see the DNA tracker in front of HQ. So I really need to get those out of the way as long as possible.
Yeah, great call. I think because you landed that turn 1 siphon, you could really afford to keep up with the trashing for a really long time. And with the double Temujin in your grip also.
Yeah, those 4 cards helped a lot. That's true.
Yeah, but I think Abram was saying in the chat how you were maybe trashing too much off of R&D because that's where all your money seems to be going. Like you would run R&D, make 4 credits, and then like trash something expensive off R&D, and that seemed painful.
Yeah, it was a pain most of the time, but I tried only to trash the things that were really annoying if we would get them into his hand. With IG, that's true for most of the cards. So
yeah, that's why it's a good deck.
For sure. Let's switch back to the other matchup. How do you feel that matchup is for your deck against this Val deck?
If I can get a good IVT early, then it could be quite all right. But otherwise, I think it's pretty rough because I need the eyes in front of HQ against siphons and eyes in front of R&D against the medium decks. And yeah, and whenever I go low on money, he just uses en passant to trash everything in front of the server he's just checked. So it's not really a great matchup for me.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on your best bet is to try to fire some ABTs and hope to get something good off of it. It seems like somebody was saying this, I think it may have been Dan on another podcast, but that in the matchups like this, when you fire the ABT, you don't really care about giving up points because if you don't protect your servers, you're not going to be able to defend from them scoring your points anyways. So it's kind of like whether they're on 2 or 4 is a little sort of irrelevant. It's more about the tug of war and the board state.
Yeah, that was Run Last Click.
Yeah, that's what it was. I think it was Dan was saying it on Run Last Click is what it was, or somebody was saying it on there. But I totally agree with that, and I think that was definitely kind of the case in this matchup. Anybody else have any other comments about the ETF or the Val deck or anything?
Alex, Spags here. I thought you did really well. I really thought it was a bad matchup for your decks. You kept your money, and I mean, the first game you got no ABTs fired and saw no Howards. The second game you saw 1 Howard late, and I mean for that little Howard draw, I thought you did really well. Like you said, we got so bored in the second game, or distracted because we were like 6-2. This game is over, and you fought back really well. I think you played well in both games, and Like there are times I'm like, he's just allowing the medium accesses where you're just hoping that he was going to, or thinking he's going to hit a CVS at some point that second game.
Yeah. But, well, sometimes it just doesn't happen. I mean, I was happy with the medium accesses before the second ABT because I knew that there was a lot of cards that he couldn't really do anything with. I'm fairly certain he would have trashed the Jacksons if he had seen one. And so I thought most of the stuff is either operations that I don't need or maybe ice that I can just install. So that was great for information.
Right.
That is a good deck. I mean, I think both games you got semi-flooded, which is actually decent against that deck because it gets them out of R&D, right? You know, that's where Laurie's like, are they all in hand at one point? And it was kind of a nice defense because that deck really doesn't have any multi-access on HQ, right? I don't think it has any.
I haven't seen any, and it's true. I actually liked being flooded against the deck.
I almost wonder if that deck should have one Wonton in it.
It's really good against the tag punishment decks.
It's just not quite degenerate enough. No, we need a slot of wanton in there.
Indeed. Cut some of that cutlery out.
Yeah,
Cutlery's really important though. If it wasn't for like that spoon, right? That fair child
Right.
shipping thing.
it seems like the cutlery is the kind of thing where it's not like relevant for most, like a lot of the game, but then it just like all of a sudden is like
Oh,
huge.
yeah.
Balls, right.
Yeah.
Super clutch to have it at just the right time in the game.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, that was. I feel like that might have been some of our best games that we've had so far. So, congrats and thanks for doing that. We're looking forward to the next round. You'll be up against Alex White or Selverin. Selverin, am I saying that right? I'm not sure. Either of those opponents that you rather face? You got any?
Laurie won.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Remember,
my bad.
he had
That's
he
right.
had the 1 and 4 on. He's trying to rub it in your face here. In an alternate universe, you won. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm sitting there with the game screen open, and I have Laurie winning right in front of me, so that was pretty smart on my part.
Either way, I would be happy facing both. I think both are really nice guys that I've met in person too. So yeah, it's always good fun playing with them.
Have you played against these people much? I know a lot of them are like from the UK or from other countries, but it's pretty close knit in Europe, right?
Against Alex, I think I haven't played in about a year, but after last year's Worlds, we were sitting at the airport with Tim Fowler, and we were just playing, I don't know, for 2 hours or 3 hours while waiting on the plane. So that was cool. And Slytherin is from Poland, so I've met him before. And we actually played 1 or 2 casual games at Worlds this year. So yeah, I do play them a bit, but I don't really play that much online. So,
Right. What about Laurie? Have you played him much?
I think just once online, but I've met him at a couple of tournaments. We just never faced each other.
Okay.
Either he was too good and I was too bad, or the other way around.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, it's too bad Laurie couldn't join us for this chat, but he was having dinner with his wife, which is admirable.
Yeah, I know those feels. I've had to scoot away from many things for similar reasons. Yeah, so we could talk about Worlds a little bit. How was your Worlds experience? How was your trip and tournament and all that good stuff?
Worlds has been fantastic again this year. I mean, there's always 2 things that I really don't like about Worlds, which is the jet lag and the cold I usually get. But other than that, it's been amazing. Meeting lots of nice people all over the place, having great games, tremendous atmosphere. It was really cool. driving in the US is an experience in itself.
Have you been to the U.S. other times other than your Worlds trips?
No,
No.
just for Worlds.
So you've got your Minneapolis as your USA experiences.
Yeah, so far.
Well, it's not a bad place, that's for sure. It's a pretty fun place.
Yeah, I like it. Although it was kind of warm the last 2 years, so that was a bit odd.
Kind of warm.
Yes.
Very warm this year.
Yeah. 2 years ago was when it was awful.
It was really cold 2 years ago. I wasn't there 2 years ago.
Yeah, there was like a blizzard, planes got snowed in. We had to delay our flight by like a day or two.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Worlds ended with a blizzard last year.
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. 2 years ago, right.
Yeah, I was there last year. Last year was a little chilly, but it was nothing too bad. Okay, cool. Well, Alex, anything you'd like to say, or any shout outs or anything before we wrap up?
One shout out definitely goes to the Canadians who started putting the virtual tour in HB, and I had pleasure of sorts facing one of them in the second day of Swiss rounds and lost horribly against it. So I thought I'd give it a try myself, and it's good fun.
Yeah, that was spicy time.
Yeah, how often have you got the Hellion beta testifier?
In testing,
Yeah.
not once, because to be honest, I haven't played the deck before.
Oh, okay. That's a good reason.
I just put it on a whim because I was a bit bored of yellow.
Classic. Well done.
I bet you wish, though, that Hellion beta test was an archive memories, though, just right about now.
Oh, well, I didn't know what Laurie would bring, so I thought, yeah, archive memories is fine, but yeah, I'll have to see. So far, I'd say the testing hasn't been gone totally successful with 2 losses, but, well.
Well, it's quite a bad matchup.
Yeah, but still. Anyway, and another big shout out to you guys that take the time to comment on these games, take the time to make everything happen. Awesome. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you, Alex. Obviously, without the players, it's wouldn't be anything. So it's really great that a bunch of y'all, or y'all, my Texas is coming out. A bunch of you guys and you gals are gonna come on and do these games, and yeah, I think that people are pretty lucky to get to witness these kind of games, and get to hear a little bit from your perspective about what happens and all that good stuff. So thank you.
Oh, and one shout out to you especially because you have Agricola in your shelf back there.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what's funny about that? I've literally never played the game. It's one of the few games that I own that I've never played. It's mainly because, like, I'm usually the one that teaches games. Like, I'm the one that reads the rules and teaches all my friends. And every time I pick up that rule book, I can't. Like, like, it's one of those games where I think I'm gonna have to have somebody teach it to me. So
It's a depressing game.
I love depressing. I love worker placement games that just make you hate yourself. So
Just the situation, the theme, I'm saying,
oh,
like
that too. Yeah, I can see that.
There is always just one of whatever currency basically missing.
yes, whether it's feeding your family or keeping them warm, like basically it's whatever you don't choose is depressing. And
Well, one of my favorite games is Tzolk'in, and yeah, there's definitely a lot of times in Tzolk'in where you just have to starve your workers, and there's nothing you can do about it. So
Yeah, it happens. Great game too.
yeah. All right, cool. Well, thanks again, and yeah, we'll. Unfortunately, you're out for this month, but I intend to keep bringing people back, especially people who maybe go out in the first round would probably try to bring them back the next time if possible. So if you are interested, I will be probably hitting you up later.
Yeah, sure. Always. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, man. Take care.
See ya, Alex.
Thanks for joining,
Yeah.
Alex. It was great playing you at Worlds, and great to see you play in this tournament. Really awesome.
Thank you.
All right. All right, guys. So now it's just us. Any final comments that you want to make on the games or shout outs or anything? How about Timmy? We'll go with you first.
No, those were some great games, as you said. Really cool to watch the evolution of this second Anarch deck keep happening. Cool to see this IG deck continue to evolve also. Grow like more evil heads. Yeah, if we have some time, I'd like to take a look at the bracket next week.
Yeah, that is a good idea. Let's do that because the cameras are glitching on me anyways, so it'll be a good time to switch.
Has anyone else played yet in the first round?
No, this is the first game. Basically, the week doesn't actually start until Monday, but just because I was available today and I wanted to try to feature some of the Worlds bracket, and Sunday is a good choice for that. So, yeah, if you look at your stream now, you should be able to see the bracket. Any of these matchups that you're especially excited for?
Quick mention that Sundays work really well for me, so thanks for doing it on a Sunday and having it.
Oh yeah, sweet. Well, we'll try. We're definitely gonna. I think we're gonna try to do Sundays occasionally, just so we can get people that are on the different time zones than me and match our schedules up.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's hard for us to say who's going to be playing next round. But are you going to feature anyone else from this week?
Probably not. The holiday week would probably make it kind of difficult. Yeah. So probably won't. We tried to do a double feature this week, and it didn't quite work out. We were trying to get Jesse and Gabriel on, but yeah, we probably won't. There's been a couple people that have streamed some of the matches. Like I know Josh streamed a couple after he was eliminated last time. So it's a possibility, but there's nothing for sure right now. I feel like this Dean Kenny matchup would be a good one that I definitely would like to watch. Yeah, that'd be really fun. Got to be rooting for Dean as the lone Canadian in the American bracket. Yeah, that's true. I tried to get some other Canadians, but I wasn't able to. So, okay. Dan's asking, how do I queue for this cup? I think Greg, you messaged Dan with little success in the past. I told him, yeah, dude, I've asked you twice.
Dan missed. Yeah, we were just talking about that, weren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, it says, yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
Of course not.
Well, I think he's a shoo-in for next month, wouldn't you say? Yeah. Sounds like
he actually wants to play? I thought this was beneath him.
Well, he's deigned to spend some time with us mortals.
That's true. He's fallen off the pedestal, the bet runner pedestal. He's back down in the commoner land.
Yeah, those numbers have to be recalibrated pretty soon. I feel like he's next year we're all in for a treat when Dan comes back with a vengeance. Yeah. I'm not looking forward to that, but I fully expect it. Dan says he's only going to play stupid decks.
Well, you know what he's on right now? Yeah, he's still on stupid CI and diaper, I think. Yeah, so.
He's on diaper?
Dan loves this combo jank garbage. That's just where he wants to live. He wants to live in the trash can.
Yeah. Well, nothing wrong with that.
I'm surprised he hasn't gone back to IG-54. He's probably thinking about it.
Yeah, he's got to be.
He loved that deck for sure. It's like a zombie here. Just when we thought it was dead, like, oh, like, you know, Jason Friday the 13th. Oh, the monster's dead. We can come back out. We can go down to the lake. We can stay in a cabin. Comes out, puts the mask on. He's going to kill us. Sad.
Yeah.
That runner's ruined.
It does seem beatable for now, right? Like, Laurie's been repping it, and you do lose. So it takes a long time to set up. So
True.
maybe it's at a healthy level right now.
I think so.
It seems okay. Yeah.
There was a lot of skies falling over the top 16 or, you know, at Worlds and the faction breakdown. But I mean, it's still, I don't think that's indicative of the game in general right now.
No, I mean, yeah. I don't know. What do you think that could help Criminal kind of get up to speed? That seems like the only, like, I kind of thought Temujin was going to accomplish that, but seems like, man, just not being Wizard is the worst thing that you can have on your ID right now. So, is it rotation? Are we looking at an ID on a most wanted list?
I don't know. Temujin at 3 influence would have been a nice start.
Right. Well, that's the problem now. If they put that on the most wanted list, does that just completely screw Criminals?
I don't think I'd play them.
They just limited Criminals' design space a little too much, I guess, because they were so powerful early on.
Right.
Now they're starting to get some tools. Like the Bird Breakers are like pretty decent for them, I think. They have like somewhat reasonable numbers, so you can just play like Criminal Breakers now and do reasonably okay, I think.
The main problem is their last few IDs have been not even mediocre. I mean, just absolute garbage, to be honest. Just hot garbage. I mean, what's their last playable ID? Leela Patel? That's, to me, the main problem that they've been facing.
Leela was really good.
No doubt.
Yeah, it seems like every time a card comes out and we kind of think like Rebirth came out, we're like, all right, this is it. Like now Andy, Rebirth, and Leela, solid, and it's always good, but it's just not quite good enough.
Yeah, because once Andy rotates, then what? What are they going to have?
Yeah.
Gabe and Leela, I don't know.
They get an ID? They have an ID in this box coming out, right?
Yeah, they do.
Pray to God that's good.
And
Might be
Waylon gets stuff too.
Andromeda.
I don't know. What do you guys feel about all these 12 influence IDs coming out? Like, it kind of seems like the majority of them are just underpowered.
Like CTM.
Well,
Yeah.
obviously CTM is the big exception, but
Like Smoke? Oh, wait, that's 15.
yeah, just I think the Criminal ID is the one that kind of confused me the most. Like,
Yeah.
why 12 influence on that?
Yeah. The theme of the whole set was supposed to be 12 influence, but then some of them don't have 12. And for 12, her ability is pretty underpowered. Like, I think it should have been like maybe reduce it by 2 or been like something else. Like, it should have been, I don't know, reducing the breaker by 1 after you bypass. It doesn't seem good enough to justify her at all, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Reduce it by 2 and 15 influence could have been good.
Yeah.
That would have been really solid. You got to get on the design team, Timmy.
Yeah, at this point, what the hell does Timmy got to do to get on that design team, right?
I don't know, man. He's got to probably kill someone. Who does FFG want killed, Timmy?
Oh, I could tell you, but then,
Oh,
yeah,
it's probably me.
it'd be you.
He just comes in behind me right now, garrots me. Poor Criminal. I don't know.
I like how we don't even bother to talk about Waylon. We're just like, poor Waylon.
Poor Wayland.
It's not even a topic anymore. Like we can't we can't even talk about it at this point because it's just like really,
Did the gunslinging give you hope, Greg? All those spoiled cards that are gonna.
I'm not a big spoiler guy, but not in the sense of like, ooh, I don't want to see them because I want to be surprised. I'm just like, I'm not like super good at like analyzing cards like when I see them, like occasionally I'll see one and be like, oh yeah, that's gonna be a good card, but I'm sort of like I'll wait and I'll play it if it's good. so
Okay.
so
Wait for the
maybe
net deck.
yeah. What do you think? Are there some cards that are gonna push Wayland into some play?
I don't. I don't know, man. There's some cool cards for sure. Like, I'd have to see more to see if there's any kind of viability. I really am not holding out any hope for it.
Yeah, I haven't really digested all those spoilers. They're just way too many and too far in the future. I think Wayland was getting some like decent ice at least, and some of the new forfeit effects seem pretty powerful.
Right. Well, what about the new ID? Then the astronautics one.
Yeah.
It's when you forfeit an agenda, you can put the number of points plus 1 advancement counters on something.
Mm-hmm.
We really have to see all the pieces come together, right? It's like a very combo-rific ID.
Right. But it does allow for Wayland to score points in a way that's not just like I hope my ice holds up. So
yeah, if they put the right pieces, it could definitely be really powerful.
Right.
Yeah, it's building some fast advance into them naturally, as opposed to just jamming stuff into Titan or whatnot, and that's interesting. Or I guess you could advance ice or all sorts of things with it. I mean, just open up the playing field for them. We'll see how good it is. Are you going to be able to score 5-3s easily or government takeover? I don't know. We'll have to see all the pieces.
It's going to be a tough deck to build. I'll tell you that much.
Counting on you, Timmy. Is that going to be your 2017 goal? Make Astronomics great again, or great to start?
Well, yeah, I'll see what I can do.
You were the Blue Sun hero that year it came out, man.
Actually, I just started playing Netrunner when I guess Blue Sun maybe just came out. I'm not really sure on the timing, but the first time I ever heard about Timmy Wong was someone talking about Blue Sun, and they were like, "Man, you got to see this deck. This guy Timmy Wong made it. It's crazy."
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, and that's when I guess that was like probably, was that right before Worlds in 2015 or 2014? Yeah, 2014.
After 2014 Worlds.
After 2014 Worlds. Okay, that's right.
Blue Sun hit right before that Worlds. Yep.
Yeah, I very nearly played Blue Sun again this year. I got Marcel from Germany to give me his like sweet Blue Sun list, and it looked pretty good. I almost played it.
Yeah, it seemed all right. It didn't seem like the worst thing to be playing. That's for sure.
Yeah, I saw a number of Wayland decks floating around on day 2. They just were underrepresented and just naturally a step below, right? Like, it's no surprise they weren't even close to making the cut, really. They're just not there. They just haven't been getting the power level of cards that Yellow has or HB has. It's just pretty sad.
Yeah, and they're definitely not strong enough to where, like, if a lot of people started to play them, they could just get teched out really hard, too. So it's kind of like, the best decks are not only good when no one's teching for them, they're also good when people are teching for them. So
yeah, CTM.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, CTM is like, you can have all the tech in your deck and it can still beat you.
It's like NEH fast cats, right? There's like almost no way to tech against that deck. Even when you expected it, it still beat you.
Yep.
CTM is like very close to that level.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of my favorite games were playing Fast Advance against decks with Clot, like Kate or Noise a year ago. It just was like a lot of back and forth, a lot of bluffing, and because you knew like they have the hate and I got to fight through it. And those are fun games to me. I like those when you know they're on the hate and you got to work around it. I feel like skill becomes a big part of the game.
Yeah, Kate NEH was pretty fun. I imagine it was a lot like the Andy NEH matchup back in the day. I wasn't really around for those days, so.
What, 2014? That wasn't a contest.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are fun games. It's rewarded play still a lot for sure.
All right, guys.
right.
I am starving, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up so I can eat my tostadas. Anything you guys want to add in before I wrap this thing up?
It was great being here. Well played to Alex. Congrats to Laurie. And yeah, I'll be following what happens from here on out.
Awesome. Spags?
Yeah, thanks again for the invite, man. Always fun to come and talk Netrunner. I mean, I guess the day doesn't go by I'm not reading about, talking about, or writing about Netrunner. And just want to say to everyone to check out StimHack. We're really pushing more articles and trying to get a lot of content up there. And if you're ever interested in helping out, feel free to reach out either on the forums or in the Slack channel. Simon Moon, he's the kind of the editor-in-chief now of that. So yeah, reach out to one of us, and we'd always love more help.
Sounds great. Any more content is good content in my opinion. So thanks both of you guys. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks to both the players. Laurie, I'll give you your congrats now since I gave them to Alex on accident earlier. Never going to forget that one. But we'll be back next week with another featured match. No idea who will be in it, but looking at this list of players, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good one. So thanks everybody for tuning in. If you want to check out any of the past matches that I've featured, they're on my YouTube channel, which is, you can find that on Twitch. It's in the, I don't know, the little box. I don't even know what you call that. The description box. It has a link to it. All right. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you next time.